Hello, I am Caroline Fabregas, and I'm super excited to be here this evening for yet another ScentFluence Sit Down, live from Scarsdale, New York, in our beautiful ScentFluence studio. And I'm particularly excited to be here tonight for our fourth sit down with one of my most favorite industry colleagues and dear friends, Mara. And we are so incredibly excited to welcome you, Mara, to our ScentFluence down. And what we do is we sit down with scent influencers and we hear about their backgrounds, their careers, what makes them inspired and to create. And so we're going to learn all that from you today. What do you think about that?
I think that's fantastic. My only regret is that I'm not sitting in that gorgeous store with you.
Oh, well, soon. I know you're going to come to New York soon. So
yeah,
I hope so. Mara, tell us all about how did you wind up in this wonderful world of scent and fragrance? I love your backstory. I'd love you to share that with our audience. Tell us how you came into the industry and how you rose up through the ranks.
Wow, it's an interesting story because, as you know, Caroline, I'm a classically trained singer. I have a master's degree in music, so I was a performing artist. And when I moved to New York City, of course, I was doing all the day jobs like everybody else was doing. And eventually, it was actually the first time that I went through an agency. And the agency actually was working with IFF. And it was a very, very funny story because the guy who was interviewing me was saying, do you like fragrance? This is the place for you to be. It's near your house. You know, I lived on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. So I thought, okay, let me go in. And I had some legal background training. So it just happened to be a position that was available for the general counsel of IFF, who I'm still in touch with, by the way. And it was a great conversation. I happened to interview with him. It was like 2 minutes on my skill set and about an hour and a half on opera. So that's kind of how I fell into IFF. The rest of it was, you know, I am a creative artist. I have a creative background. I immediately bonded with the perfumers because of their artistry. And so when I finally moved into a sales role within the company, and I'm very grateful for that, I used to sit with Sophia Grossman, who, you know, premier perfumer, one of the best in the world forever. And she took a shine to me, and she would always say, learn to smell with your musical ear. So she would say, you know, like top, mid, dry notes that we have in fragrance, I would hear it as a chord, like on a piano. Wow. So to this day, whenever I smell down into a fragrance, but I can hear it before I smell it. So I was always very grateful to her to take the time to show me how to do that. And of course, you know, year after year, I was scrappy. I'm still scrappy with what I'm doing in my current job. But then I met such wonderful people. It was a treat for me to be able to build business within the organization, to smell on a daily basis, to work with world-class perfumers and work with my customers. You're one of them, of course. We've known each other.
I'm so honored to have been one of your customers.
I'm telling you.
And we'll talk about that.
Absolutely. A customer and a friend on top of it. We had such a great time together. But it really led me into smelling many different pieces of the fragrance industry. I'm a fine fragrance girl, but I also worked on hair care. I worked on personal care, and I worked on ambient scenting, which leads me to you. And I remember it was over 20 years ago where the former technical manager at IFF said, come on down here, I want to show you something. And your late wonderful husband, Harold, who started the whole scent marketing industry, happened to be in our labs. And I met Harold then on a fluke, when you really think of that. I met him, and then I was introduced to scenting the air, ambient scenting, what that was like. And they both told me, this is the future. This is where you really want to look into, and this is what's going to start happening, not only for retail and a hotel space, which you're very familiar with, but also for the home. So I feel very grateful and fortunate on a daily basis that I was introduced to this at a very young age, because it also gave me all of the experience to be where I am today.
Absolutely. And I have to say, you know, I've had the great honor to work with so many wonderful people. And I would really say that you were such an amazing and are such an amazing partner in this realm of ambient scent. You had such an acute understanding of it, and you were one of the first supporters of the Scent World Expo that Harold developed, and then I carried on in his name for several years after his passing. You were there in the front row cheering us on. You always showed up and sponsored, as did IFF. You were huge supporters. And then that was when I remember first meeting you. You obviously met Harold, my late husband, first, and then I remember meeting you when I tried to build the Scent World Expo upon his passing. But then we met again. It seemed like ambient scent brought us together again. I remember working on a project with for Sephora actually at the time, and there was an ambient scent that had been developed, and it wasn't something I developed, it was something IFF had developed, and we started working on that together, and we were in the stores and diffusing it, and I was just really taken by your incredible understanding of almost the scent in the air as almost being like music in the air, and
absolutely,
and your passion for it too.
Yeah, and I for the Sephora project, I remember that vividly because I think that's where we really bonded. And I thought you were so cool being up on that ladder with your high heels on, crawling up into the rafters to replace cartridges. Wow, Caroline, you were always #1 in my book.
Wasn't a great look, but yeah, listen, it's brick by brick. These are the experiences that bring us to where we are today. Now I have other people who have boots on who climb up ladders, fortunately.
Yes.
But, that was quite a look. But boy, it was a great test and great testament to what ambient scent can do. And then when I was offered the opportunity to pitch for a brand new hotel brand called the One Hotel, the only place I could think to at the time was to bring this to you and to IFF. And we didn't know then what we know now, that this One Hotel signature scent would become this unbelievable cult following and cult favorite. All we did was to create from our hearts, and with this incredible guidance of the brand and the ethos and what the brand wanted to be in the world. And we created this signature scent together, and we installed it. And what an enormous, success this has been, and what fun we had along the way. Do you remember when we went to the Central Park location? Because we really needed to.
I could still feel my hard hat on.
I still have hat hair. Oh my gosh, you're funny. I miss that about you. Yes, and we stood there, right, in the room. Right. We were with Laurent de Grenette, who was just incredible.
Wonderful, Laurent.
Humor.
Absolutely.
Oh, did such wonderful.
But one of the fondest things of that trip going down there was, I remember we had worked on several mods trying to capture the park and trying to capture a lot of things. The team that we worked with at the hotel was wonderful, and they gave us access, obviously, with you. And I also remember vividly walking in that room that was already, put together, and Laurent just going, "I know what we need." Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
I remember precisely the moment, and it was almost as if he breathed in the environment of the reclaimed wood, and there was an actual cold water tap in the room.
Yes.
There was no bottled water there. You could almost smell the cold water, and then the greenery. That was in the hotel, and then being so close to the park, and it just clicked, right?
It completely clicked. It was like one of those moments where we're like, gosh, this is going to be really special. Yeah. And I do fondly remember that, being in that hotel. And then I also fondly remember being at the Miami hotel.
Oh yes,
for a convention, and then walking into that lobby for the first time and hearing people going, "Oh my gosh, I love this fragrance," and then you sit back and go, "I had a little bit to do with that."
Yes,
you know what I mean? As I'm sure you feel to this day. But another thing that always resonates with me too from that particular fragrance development with you is, we were starting to talk, and you were throwing around the terms fragrance architects. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And, we're so used to, in the fragrance industry, smelling on skin, smelling on hair, doing all of this, but it really connected, I think, not only with Laurent, but with me, especially because it was like, we are the architects of fragrance for this space.
Absolutely.
And it's funny because just to tie in a little bit of Pura, we consider ourselves to be fragrance astronauts now.
Oh, wow.
And it resonates because we're just skimming the surface. And
Yes.
I always go back to that moment that we did walk into that hotel as it was being built, and to see what it is today. It's amazing. It's really exciting.
So amazing. That was a milestone moment. And from there, I know you know, but for those of you that are going to be watching this one hotel scent has been such a blessing. It is such a cult. It has led to being able to send multiple locations now, because they've gone from the one location in Central Park. They have Miami, they have Nashville. I just got an email from San Francisco. They have Toronto, they have Mexico, they have London opening, and Paris opening, and Nashville. And did I say Nashville? Probably. They're opening everywhere. And this scent is traveling with them. And the candles and the room spray and the hand sanitizer and reed diffusers and this whole wonderful branded one hotel scent. Yeah. It is definitely something that is otherworldly. It
Yes.
Really is. It really is. And then I have to remember our famous trip to Sweden, when we went over to visit with H&M, and that was an extraordinary development, right? I mean, how cool it was to be with you in Sweden.
Oh my goodness.
Visiting H&M office and helping to develop that signature scent at the time. It was, what do you remember most about that?
Well, it's steamed pork buns.
Oh yeah, no, they were very good.
Pork buns at the hotel restaurant as they were closing, as we were arriving because our flights were late. And then we made the chef, I think, make about 25 plates for us.
all pork buns. They were great. Topped off by a little bit of licorice.
Licorice, handful of licorice as we were enjoying ourselves. But it perked me up for that meeting the next day.
Oh, that was an incredible trip. We've had some amazing times together. I'm just so excited to now be kind of with you on this next leg of your journey. I'm so proud to be a board advisor for Pura and have been with the company since really it was incepted. I was called upon through my Young Presidents Organization to meet two incredible young men from Salt Lake City, Bruno and Richie. I instantly fell in love with them and their vision. And boy, did their vision become a venture. And what a brand. And you now are there living your dream. I know you wanted to have a change of lifestyle. You wanted to live near the mountains. You wanted to have a different pace, and to utilize this incredible experience, unique experience that you have in ambient atmospheric scenting. So you're at Pura. What do you tell us? What are you doing? What are you doing at Pura? How is it?
Oh my gosh. I'm very humbled and very honored. I was just made a Chief Fragrance Experience Officer.
Congratulations.
So, thank you so much.
Well,
it's an honor on so many levels because, of course, the company, is now coming into its own, growing tremendously. We can't keep up with the growth. I mean, our sales growth, just to give you an example, is 1,000% year over year. And we have a sale every 3.7 seconds.
Oh my God.
Boy, baby, have we come a long way since a startup company. Amazing. And one of the things that's so remarkable about it is they treat women tremendously at Pura. So to be the first woman in the C-suite at this wonderful organization is such an honor for me. And so I take this very, very seriously. And going back, I can't say enough about the co-founders, Bruno Lima and Richie Stapler, who you obviously know. I just remember, like you, when I first met them, and it was a meeting that I wasn't even supposed to attend. And their vision and their integrity and their honesty and what they gave up at that young age to start this company was unwavering. And I have to tell you what makes me, I'm a passionate, emotional girl to begin with, but what makes me feel so good about what's happening and also to be a part of this company, that vision hasn't wavered since I met them. The entire team shares the same values. The talent that they're bringing in is extraordinary. And of course, I'm very excited because it's almost like taking a fragrance house and dropping it in the middle of a technology company.
Yeah.
So, you know, Hope Freeman, who you know very well, is my fragrance evaluation consultant, and Hope and I worked together for 25 years. I cannot think of a better person to be by my side in this journey. And she's also my boots on the ground in New York. I'm starting to build my team out. My regulatory tox, technical arm, you name it, are all industry vets who are formidable in their own right. But the band is back together again, so we're having a really fun time.
Oh my gosh, you are. And you're working on some amazing
Amazing.
projects. I mean,
amazing.
Obviously, Pura was born with its own fragrance line. I actually remember going to IFF and evaluating fragrances there in those wonderful sniffing booths, early days, and helping to select the original core Pura representation of scent. What's so interesting, above and beyond what was created for Pura, is all of the collaborations that Pura has done and continues to do. It's incredible how they've really taken the vision, as they described it to me in the early days, of having a marketplace and what that could mean, a completely unique view of the world. And goodness, have they ever created this marketplace now? It's quite amazing.
Absolutely. It was a very unique opportunity that they capitalized on. And again, they had the vision to do this. So traditionally, as you know, for air care, it's usually on the functional side of the business. We bring it on the fine fragrance side. So we work with the fine fragrance perfumers from every house out there, and we're having a ball doing it, of course. We not only translate from current market products, as you know, we work with many luxury brands such as Nest and Lofco and Capri Blue, amongst others. But we translate from current market products such as candles, room sprays, fine fragrance, or whatever. But of course, what we find a lot of joy in is doing signature scents.
Yes.
So it's because for me, I want to trailblaze on this side from a fragrance creation and formulation point of view. So when I go to the perfumers and I say to them, okay, we're very strict with our regulations. We're a clean brand. We want to make sure everything is safe. Now blow it out creatively and do your thing and put your signature on it. So of course, perfumers are like, I love you. You know what I mean? Because it's what I've always wanted to do. And not to mention, I'm featuring perfumers. I want people to know who's creating their fragrances. Yeah. So with collaborations, just quickly to tell you, of course, you know, we've had Disney, many wonderful things, even before the end of the year, are launching with Disney. We worked with James Harden. Obviously, he's now with Brooklyn Nets, formerly with the Houston Rockets. And it was tremendous creating signature scents for him. Yeah. We have 2 fine fragrance brands. I can't tell you who they are right now, but it's amazing what we're doing with them. Lots of things happening in 2022. And again, the sky is the limit. And for me to be able to sit here and honestly say that to you, I am pinching myself on a daily basis because I'm excited for what's happening with this company. Again, their vision, but who they represent. This is one of the most positive, healthy cultures that I have ever been in. You have support all the way around you. You're never alone, but they recognize you for what you do best and let you do your thing.
And let you do your thing. And if you haven't had a chance to experience Pura, it is just this incredible way to have fragrance in your home or in your smaller space. We love to collaborate with Pura because we do a lot of large spaces, so we find ourselves partnering together, and we just love that. And it's just a great way to have really scent kind of in the palm of your hand in a whole new way, because it pairs directly to your smartphone. You can control it. It was one of the first fragrance diffusers that could do that. It's also completely globally patented, so no one can create anything like this. You get to go back and forth between 2 different scents if you want, or have more of what you love. You can have 2 of the same in there if you want. And then you can actually just control this from the palm of your hand. It's just so easy to download the app. It's very sleek and very discreet and totally cool. I mean, I remember, gosh, it had to be 6 years ago now since I met Richie and Bruno, and they showed me an initial prototype, and they talked about their vision for the marketplace. And look at what this has become. It's just remarkable. I mean, hats off to them and how very strategic and thoughtful to bring you in particular with your unique experience, and they are just a wonderful, wonderful team. So I know you're building some new labs, and you're building, speaking of sniffing booths, you're building your own sniffing booths there. Tell us about the evolution of the company and what's going on and what's next.
Well, I'll give you a cute little story because I tell this to investors all the time. When I came here to meet with them, there were like 15 people in like a WeWork space, okay? And then I moved in November of 2019. I took a leap of faith, and it was the best leap of faith that I ever took in my life. And we moved into an office space in Orem, okay, that was about 7,800 square feet. So from 15 people to 7,800 square feet. Within a matter of months, we are now in our space in Pleasant Grove, Utah, in right now 30,000 square feet. There's construction going on all around us, which is why we're working from home again. But I'm building out not only my office, a fragrance conference room, but 2 smelling booths up where I am and storage. But we also have the 5th floor, which is 30,000 square feet. So from 15 people to now 60,000 square feet, we have this, and then we have part of the 4th floor. So that's 70,000 square feet of Pura. So this is where we're headed. But on the 5th floor, a lot of it's going to be devoted to fragrance. And I am over the moon, as you can imagine, with this. We're working with the designers and architects right now to put this together, but I don't want to give it away because it's so cool, but I'm building something big down there. And on top of it, we're going to have debriefing rooms, a lab. I'm having 8 more fragrance booths going down there. So not only for my own evaluation, my own purposes, and of course, when fragrance houses or yourself come in, you could smell in the correct settings, with us. But the product development team also works very closely with me. So we're trying out, new technologies, new formulations in fragrance, all of this. So they're going to be partnering with me as well to test out our new devices, our new units, and fragrance in general. So there are some days that I wake up, Caroline, that I'm like, did this really happen? And it's almost been 2 years now.
Yes, I know. And it's so well deserved. And it's absolutely the right person at the right time in the right place. And again, I've been with Pura from the beginning. And I'm just so delighted to see their growth and see you be a center core to that as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So are you finding some time to have some fun beyond work? I know work is fun and you're enjoying it, but are you finding some time to be with family and to travel a bit?
Absolutely. COVID obviously was horrible for every single one of us. So I feel very fortunate that I slipped in here under the pandemic, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because I was here for just a couple months and then we shut down, but the company did extremely well, knock on wood, okay, during that whole period.
Well, everybody was home, so they have to have their Pura, right?
Yes. Yeah. But I was not able to see family for quite a while. You know what I mean? I finally did, this year. And I, as I told you earlier, my mother's birthday is in September. So they live in Cleveland. So I'm going to see them. But I have very dear friends here, they're industry vets, but I've known them for over 20 years. They have a company also here. They live right over there over the mountain with me in Draper, Utah. But it was nice to have them here. But to be really honest with you, only probably the last 3 or 4 months that, or 6 months that we were vaccinated, we're able to come out, we're able to travel more. I feel like a real Utahn now. So I've been doing everything that I possibly can to be out in nature. They know me by name at my grocery store, all the cute little things, but the beauty and the mountains, the sky, everything is so inspiring on a daily basis. Your creativity just, exudes from you because it's so exciting to be here. And as you said in the beginning of our conversation, I've always loved the mountains. I've always had an affinity for the West, and to be able to live here in my life is such a big joy. And again, and working for such a great company. And the greatest thing probably for me, I still get to work with you and I still get to work with my friends. It's just different, but more joyous.
Yes, I think that you know, obviously we love fragrance.
Yeah.
We love our work with great passion, but so much of what I love to do is this.
Yes.
I love to celebrate you. I love to celebrate the industry. I love to celebrate the influencing power of scent. And it's really a reason to get up in the morning. And
Yes, totally
I'm very,
agree.
very proud of you and your growth and your contributions to the industry. And I'm super proud of Pura. And I'm really glad that we had the chance to get a little bit of inside peek to what you're up to, and to really and really celebrate you, my friend.
The same to you, my dear. You know, I'm very fond of you, as you know, that we've had such laughs over the years, and I only hope to continue this.
You betcha. You got it. And I can't wait to see you soon. So thanks, everybody, for having a sit down with us this evening. And it's really always such an honor to be able to do this. So thanks, Mara, for your time.
You're very welcome, Caroline. Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.